So Microsoft wants to buy Activision Blizzard for $68.7 billion. And man, Microsoft must love the taste of shit in their mouths. They have 343, Bethesda, and now they're trying to buy Activision Blizzard, collecting shit game companies like Russia collects L's. Fuck you, Putin! This purchase has some people super pissed, others are happy about it. It reminds me a lot of when Elon Musk bought Twitter. Some people mad, some people happy. Both buyers overpaid. The last game Activision released that wasn't broken on launch was Black Ops 3. That was in 2015. And World of Warcraft is losing players left and right. But sure, Microsoft, spend $70 billion on this company. It's not like you're going to have any layoffs.
Microsoft announced Wednesday it would lay off 10,000 employees.
Y'all a bunch of assholes. You can buy a game studio that's a shell of its former self, but you have to do layoffs? Of course. That's how it always works in capitalism. The main thing Activision Blizzard has going for itself is Call of Duty. No matter how broken it is on launch, their fanboys will eat it up. Ultimately, it's going to make money. They could fucking slap an M rating on a JPEG and it would still make money. Besides Call of Duty, Activision Blizzard doesn't really have a lot going for it. Overwatch 2 fell off instantly. Diablo 4. The gameplay was good, but it was ruined by microtransactions like Battlefront 2. Activision Blizzard did make $666 million off of Diablo 4, not floor. Words are hard sometimes. That's impressive, but eventually people will get tired of microtransactions getting shoved in their face. It's not like Call of Duty where as the shittier, you can get shittier and shittier with it and it will still sell. At the end of the day, there's still a part of every Call of Duty that can be fun if you have friends with you. Before Microsoft announced their plans to purchase Activision Blizzard was in a shitload of controversy for mistreating their female employees for years. The news was reporting on it. Everybody was pissed at them, rightfully so, and then Microsoft was like, I'll take some gutter trash, please. Then everyone stopped talking about it. To me, it seems like the executives at Activision Blizzard said, oh fuck, oh shit, oh fuck, call Microsoft. Hey Microsoft, buy us! Anyway, you slice this, Microsoft kind of helped Activision Blizzard get out of that media shitstorm. If it's like I've outlined, they definitely help. If it's like a planned purchase, why would you announce it in the middle of a controversy if not to change the story? Throughout this entire acquisition of Activision Blizzard, Sony has been acting like a big, dumb, stupid idiot trying to stop this purchase from happening. First, Sony was saying that Microsoft was going to make Call of Duty an exclusive to Xbox. That would be the dumbest thing Microsoft could possibly do. I'm not falling for your bullshit, John Sony, okay? 42.1% of all Call of Duty sales come from PlayStation. That would be like taking 40% of your paycheck and throwing it in the trash. So, Mr. Sony, Mr. John Sony, Sir, buddy, that's not gonna happen. Okay? Now that I look at it, John Sony looks an awful lot like Bill Gates. It's an inside job. Oh my god, holy shit. No. It's inside. It's all planned. Everything. It's all planned. It's all
Reed.
Maury?
This is all made up bullshit, so shut the fuck up.
Well, it looks like the studio's haunted by the ghost of my best friend who's not dead. Sony's now trying to allege that Microsoft is gonna send them shittier versions of Call of Duty to be on PlayStation, which, if they would have led with that, I would have 100% believed them. My response to Sony here is every version of Call of Duty is kind of shitty. If I was in charge of Microsoft, the way I would use Activision Blizzard to increase Xbox sales is I'd just make zombies an exclusive. Or I would turn on crossplay and then turn up the DPS on all of the guns on the Xbox version of the game. I don't want Microsoft to buy Activision Blizzard, but Sony has been acting like a big baby, and I kind of want to see them lose a little bit. So either way, I kind of win. I'm not a fan of Microsoft buying studio after studio to become number one. First it was Bethesda, now it's Activision Blizzard, and in the future, it'll be something else, because they can't stop buying shit. I don't understand why Microsoft can't use the studios it currently owns to make good games. It's almost like the studios they own are hot garbage. I think the worst thing that this acquisition did is reignite the Xbox versus PlayStation bullshit. It's so annoying. It's got me like, Mr. Worldwide 305, because I'm schizophrenic. One argument that I saw quite a bit is Sony bought Insomniac, therefore Microsoft should be allowed to buy Activision Blizzard. Like, those companies are comparable at all. When Sony bought Insomniac in 2019, they were nowhere near the top 25 companies, let alone the top 5. Xbox is the 3rd biggest video game publisher in the market. Activision Blizzard is 5th. Before anyone says anything stupid, Bungie is nowhere near the top 5. Insomniac plus Bungie does not equal Activision Blizzard. Microsoft, throughout this entire ordeal of buying Activision, has been signing deals with other gaming companies to ensure that Call of Duty will still be on their platforms. These contracts to me feel like a publicity stunt. I know what Nintendo needs, a company that's known for Pokemon and Super Mario, a first-person shooter. Any version of Call of Duty that goes onto the Switch will be heavily downgraded and will probably get 30 frames a second. Or maybe they'll just do nothing and it'll get 2 frames a minute. Nintendo consoles are not built for the 100 gigabyte updates that Call of Duty has become infamous for. Oh, neat, you've offered Steam the same deal that you offered Nintendo. No shit. Who else are they gonna go with? Are they gonna go with Epic Games? That would be fucking terrible. Epic Games is poo-poo. Xbox already admitted that Game Pass hurts sales. Who would have thought taking a new game and putting on a platform that costs $10 a month for free for no charge would hurt game sales? Who could believe it? So of course they're gonna attempt to sign a deal with the most popular place for PC gaming. I say attempt because Steam denied the deal. If the deal does end up going through, I predict Microsoft will most likely sign a contract with another company like Epic Game Store and Steam to ensure that Call of Duty is sold on other platforms that are not their own on PC. Because if it was only sold through the Game Pass app, that would look really bad to regulators. Microsoft has also signed a bunch of contracts with cloud-based gaming companies, but those contracts became obsolete. More on that later. What most of these contracts have in common is that they last 10 years. So when these contracts expire in 10 years, it'll be on Microsoft's terms. We don't know what it's gonna be like in 10 years. In that time, we could have had 3 different presidents. Think about that. To me, it seems like Microsoft is trying to save face in front of regulators and the public. So once it's approved and once those 10-year contracts expire, Microsoft can do whatever the fuck they want. Can Microsoft even be trusted to handle Activision Blizzard? They couldn't even handle their golden goose. That shit fell apart shockingly quick. Hey, really quick, I'm gonna read off my script right now. Normally I don't, but I don't want to misquote Phil Spencer because I feel like that's something I can get sued for. Phil Spencer recently said this idea that if we just focused more on great games on our console, that somehow we are going to win the console race doesn't really lay into the reality. What reality that is, I have no clue. Great games is not the whole solution, but it's part of it. What's shooting them in the foot is releasing on PC on launch. When buying a next generation console, I didn't even look at specs at all. I just looked at exclusives, and PlayStation exclusives are exclusive to PlayStation. I have a PC that's capable of playing games, so why would I buy an Xbox? Their exclusives on launch are available on Xbox and PC, so what's the point? I can't be the only person that thinks that. Xbox would even have to stop porting their exclusives to PC. They could just do what Sony does. Sony, where they release on PlayStation, and then in a couple months, they release on PC. This gives the devs more time to work on the PC ports. And just looking at the gaming community recently, that is something that is heavily needed. 39 countries have approved the merger. Hey, real quick, I'm gonna pull a Fox News maneuver, so you've been warned. One of those countries is China, and the Chinese government is bad. So clearly, this is bad. Mic drop. Shit. Goddamn shit. Where is it? It's connected. Whatever. I'd say the biggest approval comes from the EU. Even though the EU approved the merger, they still were concerned about Microsoft controlling the cloud-based gaming space. To quell the EU's concerns, Microsoft gave every cloud-based gaming platform their games for free with no licensing fee. If you're like me, you might be wondering, how the fuck do they make money from this? Well, it's not about the money. It's about looking generous in front of the regulators. Companies don't do nice things because they are nice. Companies do nice things because they have ulterior motive. For example, donating to charity. Companies get positive PR and a tax break. For this, Microsoft is getting positive PR and approval on one of the biggest deals in the history of gaming. Companies do nice things to seem nice, not because they are nice. There have been 2 denials. I don't know if you know, 39 is bigger than 2, but the 2 that said no make up more than 50% of Activision Blizzard sales. They are the UK and the US. The US is the 50%, the UK is the more than. Now in the US, Microsoft still has a chance to purchase Activision Blizzard because the FTC has to explain their work in court. In the UK, however, the decision is pretty much set in stone. Once the CMA makes the decision, usually it sticks. Just one of the many ways that the US is better than the UK. Microsoft is trying to get the CMA to reverse the decision, but if they are not able to, they may stop selling Activision Blizzard games in the UK. That sucks for everyone in the UK who didn't even really have the power to do anything about it. Microsoft, that's not very poggers of you. I buttoned up the shirt the same class year. All of you watching right now deserve better than poggers, and I am sorry for the use of poggers. This seems to be all talk, but we don't know for sure. As of filming this video, the trial is still going on. It looks like it could go either way, and I'm going to only focus on one thing that has come from the trial. Sony said that if Activision Blizzard were to be purchased by Microsoft, they would not give them any information about the PlayStation 6, meaning that the PlayStation 5 would be the last PlayStation with Call of Duty on it. It might be the biggest gamble in the history of video games. If true, Sony would be forcing Microsoft into making it Call of Duty an exclusive. You see that? Hypocrisy at its purest form. What the hell is the point of that, you might be wondering? My best guess would be cutting Activision off from 42.1% of its sales. In the short term, this would help Sony, but in the long term, it would bite them in the ass. So that's why I think it's all bullshit, just to scare Microsoft's investors. This court case is a make or break for this deal. Not being able to sell in the market that makes up 50% of your sales is kind of a deal breaker for Microsoft for some reason. If Microsoft backs out, they have to pay $3 billion to Activision, which is practically nothing. I'm glad either way that this ordeal is done. It was getting annoying. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.